Africa and the minerals of the future. The silent war beneath the soil. No one announces this war. There are no sirens, no tanks crossing borders, no speeches on television, yet it is already happening, quietly, patiently, beneath the surface of the world. While the world argues about elections and short-term crises, a deeper struggle unfolds in Africa, a struggle that may decide who holds power in the decades to come. Beneath African soil lies a hidden treasure the modern world cannot survive without: cobalt, lithium, niobium, manganese, rare earth minerals. These names mean little to most people, but to governments, corporations, and military strategists, they are worth more than gold. Without these minerals, there are no batteries. Without batteries, there are no electric cars, and without them, the promise of a green future collapses. No artificial intelligence, no advanced satellites, no modern weapons. The future itself slows down. And the largest concentration of these critical resources is found in one place: Africa. For decades, Africa was treated as a supplier, a place to extract, export, and forget. Wealth left the continent. Poverty stayed behind. But the global energy transition changed everything. What was once ignored suddenly became essential. Africa moved from the margins to the center of the game. In the heart of the Congo, cobalt mines operate day and night. Tons of minerals travel across oceans, powering technologies far away. There, they become innovation and profit. Here, communities remain poor, unstable, and forgotten. This imbalance is not an accident. It is a system, carefully designed and quietly maintained. Modern power no longer needs armies. It needs contracts, debt, infrastructure, and long-term access to resources. Roads are built, ports expand, railways cut through the land. It looks like development, but control is hidden in the fine print. China understood this early. While others debated, China invested, built, and secured long-term access across Africa. Today, much of Africa's mineral flow passes through Chinese interests. The West realized too late. Now it is trying to catch up. The United States, Europe, and Russia all know the same truth. Whoever loses Africa loses the future. But the price is paid by African nations themselves: political pressure, internal conflicts, sudden instability. Whenever a country tries to renegotiate contracts or demand more control, problems appear, almost like a warning. An unspoken rule seems to exist: you may have resources but not power. Yet this rule is beginning to crack, and that is where the story truly changes. Africa and the minerals of the future. When Africa decides to speak, for generations, Africa was told it was not ready to lead, not ready to decide, not ready to control its future. But necessity changes minds, and the future has arrived faster than expected. Some African nations realized a painful truth: exporting raw minerals is exporting power. They studied the oil wars of the past. They saw who grew rich and who stayed dependent. And they decided not to repeat the same mistake. Quietly, contracts began to change. Governments demanded local processing and refining. Factories once built overseas were now discussed inside Africa. Value would no longer leave so easily. This movement rarely makes headlines, because the idea of a strong, independent Africa makes powerful nations uncomfortable. If Africa controls its minerals, prices change, supply chains shift, global dependence becomes visible. Electric cars become more expensive, technology slows, the green transition faces delays. Not because resources are scarce, but because cheap access is no longer guaranteed. Some analysts whisper about a dangerous idea: a minerals alliance similar to OPEC. If that happens, the balance of global power will move. Negotiations will become harder. Pressure will increase. And Africa will no longer be a spectator. It will be a decision maker. The question is no longer if this will happen. The question is when. Because the future of technology depends on a continent long underestimated. Perhaps the greatest mistake of the modern world was believing Africa would remain silent forever. Now, Africa is beginning to speak. And when Africa speaks, the world listens. Hello friends, share, subscribe, leave a like.